in terms of healing through lucid dreaming, how possible is it that we could heal things even on a physical level, like diseases or injuries and that kind of thing?
The healing through a lucid dream, of course, our mind is healing mind itself. At the same time, mind can heal our energy, right? But once mind is affecting energy, when energy is affected, then energy can influence our physical body. So, the common thing, how it's possible we can have psychosomatic disease, right? If we believe in psychosomatic disease, we believe also psychosomatic healing. So that means you can use the power of mind and you can heal the soma, the body. So according to Tibetan medicine, you use the power of mind, and then, the power of mind is in energy, and then energy is affecting physical body. Sometimes it's like this, we do so many different healings, this and that. So I always believe that there is always a best healing, for different problems, right? There is no one best healing for everything, but every problem can have a best healing. So that's why sometimes this dream healing or lucid dream healing, or some healing can happen also dream yoga. This is not only for ourselves, in dream yoga we can heal or help others too. And sometimes it's the breathing, and then sometimes it's the medications or diet, lifestyle, and so on.
I think one of the most interesting aspects to dream practice for me is the potential to use it as an opportunity to prepare for our own death and the experience that follows that. So would you be able to talk a little bit about how we can utilize the dream experience for that?
Actually, you see, it's interesting, like now in a normal way we can have two realities. The reality of this life, this reality is based on our like a sensorial experiences, right? What we see, what we can touch, what we can hear and smell, these sensorial level experienced reality, one, and other one is the dream reality. And that moment we are not using these sensorial experiences, but something very similar, right? So that's why in a very basic way we can talk two realities for normal people. Of course, the meditators also, they have a reality during the meditation or deep samadhi. And so if you are really good with both reality, this reality, it's a material reality, and normally we get lost in it, and it's so difficult to deal with this, in a spiritual way. Of course, the material level, yes, but spiritual way, that's why so many people, they lose their control, their mind control, they cannot be, mindfulness is really good, but they cannot be mindful and so on. And then in the dream is something similar, we do something similar what we do in this reality, but little bit subtle, little bit different, right? And therefore that one is close to bardo. Bardo means after death. The dream state is close to the bardo. So that's why normally in Tibetan tradition we call it, dream is the bridge, with this reality and connecting to the afterlife. So life and afterlife and bridged by the dream. So that's why if you're very good with dream yoga or dream training, lucid dreaming and so on, and afterlife is something very similar, if you're able to control your dream, if you're able to have lucid dreaming and so controlling everything in your dream, and same thing also in bardo, you can do anything, right? So our problem is like this, when we talk about different things, we lose control in the dream, all other things, they control us. The people control us, our work control us, the time is controlling us, the space is controlling us, everything is controlling us. This is like our life. And something similar also in the dream. But why in the dream we have to work? Why in the dream somebody should or we are controlled by other people, right? So dream yoga says, stop being stupid in the dream, be yourself and powerful. And that's your own dimension. That's your own, reality. Everything created by yourself. You can be free from anything. So something similar way also bardo, after death, the afterlife is very close to the dream state. So that's why if you're very good with dream yoga, and Bardo yoga is already there.
So it's almost like in dream yoga or lucid dreaming practice, you're perceiving the dream with your mind, but also what you're perceiving is also your mind.
Mm-hmm.
So your mind is
Exactly.
experiencing itself.
Yes, exactly.
And that's very similar to the bardo after
yes,
death
exactly.
state.
Subject and object, both yourself.
The same thing.
Exactly. Subject and object, both yourself. Lucid dreaming and dream yoga is you have to know the great oneness or unity of subject and object, But because of our ignorance and stupidity, there is a dualistic vision. There is subject and there is object. But in reality, in dream yoga, says everything is one, right? So once you realize that, after death, also the same. In Bardo, is everything is mostly your mental projection. So if you realize that, then you free yourself from samsara. So that's why interesting, it's not only dream yoga. Also, before dream yoga, we do sleep yoga. So we must fall asleep. And the process of falling asleep is very close to process of death. Very, very close. So, that part is a similarity. Actually, like we are dying every night.
Like everything we know dissolves.
Exactly, yes. Dissolves, it's like a black hole and then start the dreams. So very similar way, when we die, everything dissolves, But in that dissolution, now everything, when we fall asleep, everything goes so fast. So we don't realize. But when we die, the process can be kind of slow, and then you experience it more. So that's why when there is this Dharma Dhatu Bardo, we call it the state of clear light, and that's very similar to deep sleep state, right? During the deep sleep state, our mind is beyond of subject and object, right? So there is no dualistic vision or dualistic view. And then when dream starts, of course that's starting like in a dualistic vision. But then we have to know that there is no, in reality, both are projection of our mind. There is no dualistic division, right? Bardo is the same thing. So deep sleep to dream, and the moment of the death or process of the death and afterlife, it's two things, like parallel.
So do you think experiencing and working with that lack of duality in the lucid dreaming state, that can also help us when we're awake to feel less divided or maybe less attached to our emotions?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Because we, in reality, it's true that in our life, we have so many conflicts and problems. And the conflict and problems we are fighting to others, right? But how comes, we fight so much with others? Because we fight inside first, right? You want to say yes or no, good or bad, black and white, and there are so many questions, and then you are not sure. So you are kind of a little bit confused there. And then I think we internally produce so many conflict, like self-conflict. And then once self-conflict is too much, very easy to have conflict with others. So then we are lack of inner peace.
Yeah.
So that's why, of course, dream yoga really helps to liberate, your inner tension, your inner conflict, and so on. Once you liberate these things, or once you are free from these things, of course, your life is changed too. In the life you see very different way.
So not only does it have a positive impact on your waking life, but it's also important, isn't it, to utilize your waking hours as part of the practice for lucid dreaming.
Yeah. It's very interesting. When you talk about Tibetan 6 yogas, they talk about life, they talk about sleep or dream, and they talk about death, right? So it's like in our life, we are talking about our past, present, and future, right? And so many people are scared and stressful because they are not sure about their future, about their health, about their life condition, about their death or whatever. There are so many worries about future. And same thing, there are so many stuffs in the past, traumas and dramas, problems, conflict. In the past is full of stuffs, right? And future is full of fear. So what kind of present, now and here we can have? So that's why the Vajrayana, Tibetan Buddhism is saying, don't ignore your past, you know. You just look into your past. Also, don't get scared of your future. Look into future. Once you truly know past and future, then you can make a perfect present, now and here.